I'm a physical therapist and a fitness coach. So I'm coming to you today from my kitchen because we need to talk about not only exercise, but we need to talk about nutrition and what we can use in our diet in order to be healthy, because it's both nutrition and exercise. One of the things that I want to talk about is using coconut oil to cook with, to bake with, and some people even put it in their coffee. So why are we talking about it? You know, it's funny that it's kind of caught on and it's like a real craze now. The interesting thing, it's been around for hundreds of years, but just like anything, we always poo-poo the stuff that has gone before us, and then we mess ourselves up, you know, using all the processed foods, and you know, we even have gone into the low fat, no fat, you know, because we realize coconut oil, it's a fat. It is considered a saturated fat, and that's what makes the difference. All the things that, unfortunately, that we've gone to has been more of the unsaturated or the polyunsaturated fats. They're the bad guys. The saturated fat are the good guys, and that's what coconut oil is. Coconut oil, in the category of saturated fat that it's in, is called a medium chain fatty acid or medium chain triglyceride. So it's a good guy. It's a good guy because it breaks down quickly and easily so the body can use it. And in fact, when it breaks down, the body turns it into what's called a ketone. Now, ketones are getting all the craze and all the talk about lately. People are trying a ketogenic type of a diet, and that's where you incorporate more of the healthy fats into your diet and you're lowering the carbs in your diet. And that's the key, is that the bottom line is that if you include healthy fats into your diet, one of the things that it does, it takes the fat to burn the fat. And most people would say that's the opposite. You need to cut fat out of your diet. But again, that is what's caused the majority of people in our society to be obese and to have diabetes. There's a lot of different health benefits to coconut oil, both taken internally as well as to be used topically. And I'm going to use a weekly type of series in order to do this correctly. I don't want to jam too many things all into this video. I want you to really understand about coconut oil and I want to give you ways to incorporate it into your daily life. So that's where for today, we're just focusing in on cooking, baking, and putting it into your coffee. It's because it's a saturated fat, it is stored at room temperature, and this is what it looks like for people. I don't know whether you can really see that. So it's stored at room temperature, and the reason it can be stored at room temperature is because it is a saturated fat. In fact, 84% of its calories come from saturated fat. Say compared to butter, butter has 64% of its calories coming from saturated fat, as compared to olive oil, where 15% of its calories come from saturated fat. So just kind of use that as a comparison. So that's why using it to cook with versus, say, you know, a lot of people have switched from cooking with butter to olive oil. But to tell you the truth, coconut oil is a great thing to cook with, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. But the bottom line is that it only takes 3 steps to go through a process for the body to use it, to turn it into the ketones. It will produce energy for the body, not only for the body, but actually for the brain. And I'm going to do a whole segment on that is so critical and important. But the other things is that it helps you in order if you're trying to exercise and to burn fat and to lose weight. And so this is a critical way of doing that. It's a much healthier and better way. I know it seems opposite of what you would think, but this is really a great way of doing it. Now, what I want to do is actually show you what it looks like. There's a lot of people are like, this is kind of weird to use this, but it must have been some point been weird to use butter and olive oil to cook with. Let me turn my burner on. All right, just gonna, this is what it looks like. coming out of the container. You just put a little blob there, and it's going to melt. You kind of see that. Alright, it's melting just as butter would. Now, when you're baking with it, the ratio of butter to the coconut oil is exact same, 1:1. If your recipe, if you're baking, you would use it, say if it called for a half a cup of butter, you would use a half a cup of the coconut oil. Using it in coffee, a lot of people are really into what's called a bulletproof coffee. So you would put like a tablespoon of the normally grass-fed butter that people have been using. You can also now know that you can use the coconut oil. You have to like coconut because it'll start to taste like coconut. And that brings me to another thing. Some people, the only problem with using coconut oil, some people are allergic to coconuts. If you're allergic to coconuts, don't use the coconut oil. You know, even though all these things that I'm telling you are good, unfortunately, when you're allergic to something, stay away from it. So as far as baking, it might give a slight coconut taste to it. Your coffee, if you put it in your coffee, will have a slight coconut taste to it. It's actually kind of refreshing. As far as when I cook with it, I don't really notice it that much. Now see, if you notice, it's completely melted, so it doesn't even take long to melt. It's the same way butter is. So the process is actually comes from a coconut, and you have to watch though. Some are refined coconut oils. You want to make sure it says pure, unrefined, cold press, extra virgin coconut oil. This is how you know you're getting it where it's going to break down and be very healthy for your body, whereas obviously the refined is going through more of a process and it takes some of the nutrients out. So there's more to come in this series. I'm going to do this once a week, most likely on Mondays. In fact, let me just show you how I quickly do this. Just spread it out. All right, here's what I'm having for breakfast. Clean eating pancakes. So it's great to be able to use a healthy fat with that because this is a clean eating recipe. So you can use it to cook with, bake with, as well as put it in your coffee. It's great healthy fat. Hope you take me up on my tip, and there's more to come in this series. Have a great day, everybody. It's about staying as healthy as you can for as long as you can.